What's going on, guys? Happy Tuesday. Welcome on in. As you can tell, it is going to be just me today. My man John's still on his way back down to Florida. As always, though, full communication. Already one bet out right now to how to beat the Bookie members. We have a couple of other spots circled, a couple other things we're looking at, line movements and lineups as usual, and we will have those out later to the members. Yesterday, guys, winning day. Nice little day. 2-2, but both the winners, 2-unit plays. Baltimore plus 130, Miami plus 135. They both pull it out. So that's a couple of winners there. Two losers, both 1-unit plays. The Yankees and the Giants. Couldn't get those done, but still plus 3.7 units to get this week going. Hopefully, we can build up some momentum, carry that on throughout. Because it is just me today, guys, bear with me a little bit if I'm pausing or if I get distracted a little bit. Watching some of these lines currently as we speak. A little bit of movement going on in some of these games. We'll get into that when we get to each one. Let's go ahead and dive in. So this top game, we got Pirates playing at the Mets. Mets get it done last night. They've now won 5 straight meetings in New York, 8 of the last 10, but they have split the 4 so far this season. Falter versus Peterson. Falter, he's only made a couple of starts with the Pirates so far. Used to be with the Phillies. 3 outings versus the Mets last season, went 1-1, 3.27. Last time out, though, with the Pirates, he did just give up 4 runs in 4 innings against Atlanta. Gotta give him a little bit of slack. It's the Braves, 4 runs in 4 innings. The Braves kind of beat up on everybody. And then Peterson going. Peterson hasn't been going deep into games. Last couple of outings, just 3 innings, 6.2 innings pitched, 2 runs versus the Cubbies and the O's. And it has been solid at home so far this season, 2.93 ERA. This is a weird, interesting game here. It's Mets or nobody for me. Now, I'm not looking to lay this Mets team as a favorite right now. They're 4-4 on this homestand, playing 500 ball. You have this Pirates team. They're 5-6 on the road since the All-Star break, just under 500 ball. I'm not looking to lay the Mets as a favorite, but give them a little bit of a pitching edge here, give them a little bit of a home edge, a little bit of a matchup edge, and you start to see why they are the favorite. So I don't think you're taking any value here laying the Mets. It's minus 135. This is about the mean number here. Just nothing in this game for me. So a little bit of lean to the over there as well with this pitching matchup. Mets last 2 games scoring 7 runs per game after the little losing skid against Atlanta. We'll see the bats can continue to stay hot there against Falter. Next matchup, looking at the home dog here, D-backs at Colorado. Now you have this D-backs team who was ice cold. Now they've won 2 of 3. We'll see what they can go here. Rockies go ahead and open up with a win yesterday. They have now split 4 meetings in Coors this season. Arizona still won 5 of the 7 meetings. It's going to be Mantiply versus Black. Now, Mantiply, you have this dude, 154 relief appearances, making his first start now. And his latest relief appearance was last night. Gave up 3 runs without recording an out. So I don't know the decision-making there for Arizona. Decision-making, seeing this guy get lit up in Coors. And your immediate reaction is to have him open the following game. But to each their own, I suppose. Then you have Block going. He's coming off a quality start against the Dodgers. He had a nice little pitching duel with Kershaw. Rockies couldn't pull that out, but he allowed 1 run in 6 innings in that 2-1 loss, pitching decent there. Prior to that was roughed up for 4 runs by the Cardinals. This is Rockies home dog or nothing. They win the game yesterday. This Arizona team is just absolutely dead in the water. 5-17 their last 22. Can't lay them on a road favorite in a bullpen game with the dude who just got cracked last night. So looking at the home dog here, Colorado or nothing. We'll wait to see how high that number goes. Right now, that thing opened up. Arizona, minus 125. It is as high now as minus 160, 163 at some spots. Keeps going higher and higher and higher. And if they keep forcing our hand here, going to end up with a bet on Colorado. One game we'll be looking at there. This next NL matchup, Brewers and the Dodgers, couple of first-place teams in the NL Central and the NL West. Brewers are coming off a little 4-game win streak right now, scoring 6 runs per game. They sweep the White Sox. And this Dodgers team, hottest team in baseball. 12 of 13 they've now won. Bats have cooled off a little bit the last 5, scoring 4.4 runs per game. Still the second best team in the MLB, 38-20 at home. Third scoring 5.7 runs per game. Just doing what they do. They're the Dodgers. They're heating up this time of year, getting going. Hauser versus Miller. Hauser last time out, he gave up 4 runs versus the Rockies and 1 start versus the Dodgers last year. He was cracked for 5 runs and 2 1/3. And Miller coming off 6 shutout innings against Arizona. He's been worse at home, though. Kind of weird because Dodgers, a bit more pitcher-friendly ballpark. 2-2, 5.85 ERA across his 6 home starts. We'll see if that continues here. Really just an overlay price, and with good reason, in the sense that this Dodgers team is, like I said, the hottest team in baseball right now, getting it done from all over. Still, though, a little bit steep of a price. Martinez is questionable. Have to see if he's in the lineup, but this is Brewers or nobody. Plus 186, plus 190 for what could be a matchup in the NLDS. A couple of teams here who Brewers over the last 3 years. If you look at the best NL teams, I believe it's since 2018, the best NL record since 2018. Dodgers, Braves, Brewers. Brewers been very competitive the last several seasons. Yes, they play in a lot worse division. I understand the disparities there. Either way, still competitive, a division-leading team. Big dog price here to go up against a rookie who struggles at home, as solid as Miller has been. Brewers are nobody in that contest. Then we have 3 AL matchups. First one here, sticking with a couple of central teams. Tigers at Mini. Detroit comes off losing 2 of 3 against Boston. Still 4-2 their last 6. And Twins, they dropped the last 2 at Philly. Twins won the last 2 at Philly, scoring 5.5 runs per game. That was after the 4-game losing streak. If you guys have been tuning into this, you guys have heard me mention time and time again with the Twins since the All-Star break, the streakiest team since the All-Star break. 4-game win streak, 4-game losing streak. Right now, they come off the 4-game losing streak. They win 2 in a row. That started against the Tigers earlier last week when the Tigers won 3 straight against Mini. Fado versus Ober. Fado last time out against the Twins, 3 runs off 2 homers and 4 2/3. Prior to that, quality start for San Diego. And then Ober, he's been brutal. He had a really nice stretch of 8 or 9 quality starts there. Back end of May, all throughout June, a little bit of July. Last 3 starts, though, 0-2, 7.71 ERA. Coming off a bad outing against the Tigers. Gave up 5 runs, 4 earned in a 9-5 loss there. Sorry, I got distracted. And he did have a quality start versus them back in June, but was roughed up by them last year. Had almost a 6 ERA. Lean to Tigers here. Minnesota really needs some wins. They got to pull away from Cleveland. They lost 3 straight at Detroit earlier last week, as we just mentioned. Tigers have had a lot of success in the matchup this season. 7 of 11 meetings, 3 of 4 at Minnesota. If you look at the division race right now, currently in the Central, you have Twins 4.5 games up on Cleveland, and they got to keep pulling away and just get some separation. So down the stretch of the season, they can rest some guys. So this is a big price here for Minnesota. But still, I just feel this game's Twins are nobody either way. I understand the success Tigers had. I understand Ober's been pitching poorly. Numbers even a bit of an overlay. Just the meaning and implications these games mean now to the Twins getting Detroit at home. Got to take care of business. Staying off this game, but if I had to play it, would be on the home favorite there with Mini. Then we have Angels at Texas. Another division battle. Angels staying ice cold. Rangers staying red hot. This game is not that hard to break down. You have Rangers who just crushed them 12-zip yesterday. They've now split 8 meetings this season. Angels, they've dropped 3 of 4. They're 3-10 their last 13. They're hitting just 179 this week. Bats are ice cold. Texas, complete opposite. They've won 3 of 4. They're 11-2 their last 13. They're the best home team in baseball. They lead the MLB in scoring 6.2 runs per game at home. Second in hitting. They're just getting it done with the bats, and they have a pretty good pitcher going for them today. They get the edge in that regard as well. It's Giolito versus Montgomery. Montgomery, both his first 2 starts with Texas have now been quality starts. 4 runs in 12 innings, 11 Ks, 2 walks. Had a quality start versus the Angels last season. And Giolito, he is coming off his first quality start with the Angels. It was a home start against the Giants. Prior to that, though, roughed up at Atlanta, and he has just been brutal on the road this season. 3-6, 6.15. You got Texas with the pitching edge. Texas with a massive home edge, biggest home edge in baseball. Texas with an offensive edge. I can't look here at the Angels. They're a dead team. Texas is rolling. They're looking to continue to get separation on Houston. This game is Rangers on the run line or nothing for me. Could even be a look at a little bit to the over there. Imagine Texas puts up runs on Giolito. We'll see what kind of a start he brings. Then we have Seattle at Kansas City. This game was weird for us yesterday. If you guys tuned in, you heard me talk about Singer. I wanted to back Singer. Didn't pull the trigger, and I'm in a little bit of regret on it. I was on it beforehand. KC ends up pulling it off. Blanco gets the walk-off bunt, winning in typical KC fashion. Now Seattle. So talk about streaky. Teams winning bunches, losing bunches. Seattle puts up 8 straight W's. And next thing you know, they've dropped 3 straight, scoring 3 runs per game. They're now 2 games back in Toronto. We'll see if they get back on track here. KC, quite the opposite. 1-2 of 3. They're hitting .322 this week. This Kansas City offense, who's been 28th, 29th in scoring all season long. Last couple of weeks, their offense been finding some stride. Interesting pitching matchup. Hancock versus Lyles. Lyles been a bit better. Last two starts, 9 runs in 13 2/3. He's been a bit better at home. 1-6, 4.95 ERA. And Hancock, I don't get it with Seattle. I mean, the amount of young pitching they have, both in prospects, and have already come up. We saw Gilbert yesterday, who had a little bit of a rough outing, but he was going nicely. Kirby's been solid. Miller, they brought up, has been solid. Wu, who they had brought up, and he sent back down, he's been solid. A lot of pitching depth like I've never seen before here with this Mariners team. Hancock, who's going today, is their number 4 prospect, and his debut allowed 1 run across 5 innings. Did have 3 Ks, 3 walks, and a win over the Padres. We'll see how he goes in his second start here. Lean to Seattle here. Only reason I was interested in KC yesterday was because of Singer. I think this price is a little bit cheap for the Mariners. Lyles, yes, he's been better, but he's still not a good pitcher. And, sometimes with these younger guys like Hancock, you're going to have this ability to be less of a scouting report, less well seen. Obviously, the more times you get seen by a pitcher, the worse it gets. We've seen that already with some of these young guys this season. Abbott for Cincinnati, really solid stretch to start his career. Then he gets roughed up a few times. Miller for Seattle, he was really dominant. What was it? 6 straight quality starts to come out, and the next thing you know, he starts getting roughed up. So we'll see how long Hancock kind of has the ability to, sneak around a little bit, not be as well seen. Either way, cheap enough road favorite here with Seattle. Looking at about -135 for a team who's in the wild card race for Kansas City, second worst team in baseball. They're just trying to sell some tickets and get the season going. So this is Mariners or nobody, but again, a game I'm not on. Then we have Cleveland at Cincinnati. This is a game I am on. How to beat the bookie members are not on this. John is not on this. This is the bet I am personally on. So we can go ahead and, we got a little bit of movement here coming in on the Astros. That line ticking up again. It started off -130, went all the way down to 110, now back up to 120. So a lot of movement on both sides of that. We'll get there shortly. Guardians at Cincy. So Cleveland, they get the win at Tampa. They lost the prior 2. Both got walked off on. Still 4-9 their last 13. But bats did heat up in the Tampa series, scoring 7.3 runs per game. Then we have the Cincinnati team. They won 2 of 3 in the series against Pitt. Still 3-9 their last 12. Bottom 5 teams since the All-Star break. Do they start to flip it back around? We'll see. Pretty good pitching matchup. Allen versus Ashcraft. Just night and day. If you look at his season, the first month and a half dominant, following 2 months absolutely fucking miserable, and then now he's putting on together another 2 months of dominance. 7 of 8 quality starts, 3-1, 1.94 ERA. So far in August, 4 runs in 15 innings versus Miami and Washington, and 12 Ks, 3 walks in that span. Has been worse at home this season, but most of those numbers inflated from that 2-month gap in the middle there. That was just brutal. So Ashcraft gets the pitching edge over Allen. Cincinnati has to have the edge over Cleveland. Yes, Cleveland's bats heated up a little bit. Still a dead offense. Last in homers, bottom 5 in scoring, everything, you name it. So with the pitching edge there with Cincy, looking at a -110 game, you have the pitching edge, you have the team edge. It's spot here for the Reds. I make this number closer to 130. We're looking at about -110. It's opened up 115. Action has come in a little bit on Cleveland. So this number ticking down. Another one John and I are watching could end up out to you guys, our members, if it goes much further. But I'm on Cincinnati personally. If anyone wants to ride that with me, wish you the best of luck. Hopefully Reds can get it done for us. Then Houston at Miami. I was just telling you guys they're hitting this game back up to the Astros. A little cheaper price now, -120. My lean still to this game, home dog with Miami. The Marlins get it done yesterday. That was one of the winners we had yesterday. They win that one 5-1. They've now won 3 of the last 4 meetings. They took 2 of 3 in Houston last season. Houston, they've dropped the last 2. Bats just fell off. 1 run in the last 2 games. 1 run per game in the last 2 games. But they are still 3rd best road team in baseball, 35-25. And the Marlins, streaky team. They go out of the break, the coldest team out of the break. They've now won 5 of 6. Have a 1-game lead on the Reds and the Cubbies there for that final wild card spot. Javier versus Cueto. Now, Javier was really terrific to start the season. Lately, not as much. Only 1 quality start since June 15th. Last time out, 2 runs, 5 innings, 3 Ks, 3 walks. Had a little bit of a command issues here. Last couple of starts, if you look at for Javier, either the walk count is up, and the walk count wasn't up, was against Tampa Bay. He had 9 Ks, 2 walks in that. He had 3 hit batters. So command's been a little bit of an issue here for Javier. He's been worse on the road, 5.17 ERA. And then you have Johnny Cueto going. He's coming off an okay start, 3 runs in 5 innings. Dominated Houston last season. Dominated Houston. 2 starts versus the Stros, 1 earned run in 15 innings, and a couple of wins there. I think he was on the White Sox last season when he did that. But still, dominant there against the Astros. Houston team, bats starting to cool off. They're cooling off. Miami trending upward. Worth a look at the home dog here. Now, I would have rather have that opening number, plus 120. Like I said, it is back down to plus 110. But it did go lower than plus 110, and now they're starting to take the action back to Houston. So that's another game I'd watch that line movement. If it goes back up closer to that opening number, I think it's worth a take there on the Marlins. Just with Cueto's success, the Marlins' home success, and Houston's bats cooling off, I think you can make some reasons there to get on Miami. That number should be closer to a minus 110 on the game. Next matchup, Boston at Washington. Pivetta on the mound. You guys, if you guys tune into this podcast regularly, you guys have heard us talk about this just time and time again. Nick Pivetta, why are they fucking with him? Why are they messing with it? Bulk relief was going stud, and they put him in the rotation, then back to relief, now back in the rotation. I hate that they're switching around with it. Give him some kind of rhythm, some continuity, whatever it might be. But either way, since July, he's still been solid. 4-1, 2.65. Last time out, 2 runs and 5 earnings versus KC. We'll see what he does here against Washington. And then Josiah Gray. You guys know we like to back Gray, specifically on the road. At home, he's been much worse so far early in his career, not just this season, but his first couple of seasons. So far this year, 9 starts, has a 5.17 home ERA. In the last 2 times he came out, 9 runs in 8 1/3, 8 Ks, 5 walks. That was against Philly and Milwaukee. So Gray's been trending downwards. Pavetta's been trending upwards. Pivetta gets the pitching edge for this one. Red Sox 2-6 their last 8 home games against the worst home team in the National League, the Nationals. But the Nats are 12-2 the last 14 home games. Nats are winning home games right now. They're coming off. They're playing a pretty good series. They sweep the A's. They win 3 straight. The bats are going. Scored 6 runs per game. We're looking at a home dog here and nothing. I don't like what they're doing, Pivetta. I don't like how Gray's been going lately. I don't want to back Gray. But again, Nationals, one of these quote-unquote dead teams, playing pretty good. Boston, not a dead team, needing wins. That's the only hesitancy I'll say. But Nats are competitive. Would be Washington or nobody there. Again, though, another game that's only ticked up. Lined open 155, as high as 165 now. We'll see if that keeps going that direction. Game we're not on yet. Could force our hand if it keeps going higher. This game, to me, is the toughest game on the card coming up. Phillies and Blue Jays. It's pretty much a pick'em game. You have Philly right now, minus 110. You got to take back at even money for Toronto currently. Good pitching matchup. Wheeler versus Kikuchi. You have Phillies who come off dropping last 2 there against Minnesota, scoring just 1 run per game. Scoring just 1 run there, but still 6-3 their last 9. And Toronto, they get the win over the Cubbies, but they've lost 3 of 4. Phillies won both meetings earlier this year. Jays won the last 4 in Toronto. Really, it's just 2 pitchers going well here. So that's part of what makes this read so tough. Kikuchi last 4 starts is 2-1, 1.11 ERA, pitching like a stud. Last one against Cleveland, gave up 1 run in 7 innings. And then Wheeler, he's coming off 6 straight quality starts, 2-1, 3.03. Faced the Jays back in June, had a quality start there, allowing 1 run in 7 innings. Pitching edge, I'm going to give it slightly to Wheeler just because of the track record with him. But Kikuchi's pitching better right now, so to speak. So really tough read on the pitching matchup here. Will be a slight lean to the under in this game, if anything, for me. You have this Jays team whose bats did pick up in the last game there of that Cubs series. Prior to that, they were pretty ice cold. And the Phillies bats did go ice cold there against Minnesota, scoring just 1 run in the last 2. Looking at the under here with Philly and Toronto. Slightest of leans to the Jays here with Kikuchi the way he's been going, but I'm staying away from this one. This Jays lineup, keep in mind, guys, been banged up with Kiermaier, the Bichette issues, and they're coming off the off day, so I don't imagine anyone else gets a day off today, but we shall see. A little bit of movement here on Baltimore. All right, next game, we got Yankees at the Braves. Like I said, Yankees one of the losers from last night. Braves, what do they do? 15 hits, 11 runs, just offense on full torque right now. They've now won 4 or 5, scoring 10.2 runs per game. This game is over. Nothing else I could even get on my mind than the over in this game. Albies was placed on the IL, so we'll see what goes on there with him. Didn't look like they missed a beat last night with him not in the lineup. This Yankees team miserable, 2-6 their last 8, 4-13 their last 17 road games. Braves are just crushing the ball right now, hitting .337 this week. Best home record in the NL, 38-20. Can't back this price with Elder is the only thing. For all you guys who keep betting Atlanta, keep betting Atlanta. Who am I to stop you? But I can't make Elder a 200 favorite. The dude has a 7.94 ERA his last couple of starts. In August, he's given up 12 runs in 9 1/3. So I have no interest in backing Elder the 200 favorite. Only issue is Severino has been that much worse since July. 1-5, 11.71 ERA. Don't know why the Yankees still have him in the rotation at this point. They messed with him at one point, tried to put him in as an opener, or sorry, as a follower, and in bulk relief. I get it. Used to be a stud, but he does not have his stuff right now. It might be time to send him down, get his shit figured out. Last 2 times out, give up 9 runs, 3 homers in 6 innings versus the White Sox and the Stros. He is 0-5, 9.89 on the road this season. No interest in the dog here with the Yankees and Severino. Can't back Elder, the 200 favorite. 2 pitchers who have just been miserable lately. Give me the over in this game. The Braves might cash that by themselves. We'll see if Yankees can crack Elder a little bit, help out that total. Pretty steep number we're looking at here at 10.5 here at most spots and climbing to 11. What Sport 411 has 11. I think they're the only one showing 11 right now. So I do imagine that line closes at 11. So if you can still get 10.5, definitely get in on that. Just 2 pitchers pitching too bad. Best offense in baseball. Might as well go over here. A's at Cardinals. Cardinals get it done last night. They win that one 7-5. They've now won 4 of 5, scoring over 6 runs per game. They're heating up a little bit. A's have dropped 6 of 7, scoring just over 3 runs per game, batting to 11 this week. And they're the worst road team in baseball. A little bit of a gross pitching matchup here. Spencer Watkins, welcome back to the big leagues. I don't know if you guys remember him from last season. Spent some time with Baltimore. He's going to be getting the nod today for the A's, making his first start this season. Now, the only catch to this is Watkins was miserable in AAA this year. 3-4, 8.35 ERA. And it's not like he's been pitching better lately, and they're like, oh, okay, well, he had a rough start in AAA. Nah, the dude, his last 2 starts, let me pull it up. Don't want to miss this for you. 13 runs in 4 2/3, and then he gets the call up. So Oakland, I don't know what you're doing here. I don't know if he's going to be how much of a leash he has, if he's going 1 inning, he's a true opener, what the game plan is here. It was originally Tarnak in the box as far as the pitching for today, but then they added Watkins, a little bit of a pitching change. Maybe it's just Watkins going an inning. Tarnak follows. Tarnak followed his last time out through 4 shutout innings in that 2-0 win over Texas. We'll see what the Oakland does here, what the Oakland A's do here, but I cannot bet Watkins miserable in AAA. And to make matters worse, last year against St. Louis, Watkins cracked for 7 runs in 3 2/3. Meanwhile, it's Hudson for the Cardinals. Last 2 starts, very solid. 6 runs in 12 innings, 9 Ks, 4 walks versus the Twins and the Rays. This is a big price for St. Louis. You guys heard us say it yesterday. I can't back the second worst home team in baseball. It's a -200 favorite. No interest in that. Not backing the worst road team in baseball with a pitcher who got lit up for 13 runs in 4 2/3 his last 2 times out. So this again would be looking at the over, if anything. Maybe if you guys want to play Cardinals on the run line, just a fade here against Watkins, fade here against the Oakland A's, I'd understand that as well. So if I had to bet the side, it would be St. Louis on the run line. But my heavier lean on the game would be to the over. Then we got a battle in Chicago. The White Sox at the Cubbies. White Sox get swept by the Brewers, scoring just over 3 runs per game. Robert, he's missed the last couple of games. We'll see what's going on with him. He's questionable. And then the Cubbies, they come off that series with the Jays. They won 2 of 3 in that series. They went 3-3 on the trip. 10-3 the last 13 home games. Currently 1 game back in that NL wild card of Miami. We'll see what they can get cooking up here. Toussaint versus Hendricks. One thing I forgot to mention there, matchup history-wise, Cubs did win both meetings at the White Sox home stadium in Chicago earlier this year. But then you have the White Sox have won 7 of the last 8 at Wrigley. So we'll see if there's any trend there that continues. White Sox were owning this matchup a little bit more. But Toussaint versus Hendricks. Toussaint last 2 starts brutal, 8 runs in 10 1/3 versus the Yankees and the Rangers. He has been worse on the road this year, 5.47 ERA. And Hendricks last time out was better, 2 runs in 5 innings versus the Mets. Prior to that was roughed up. Did have a quality start versus the White Sox earlier in June. It's a big price here for Hendricks. This is still Cubs or nothing. Now, the only thing that makes you one, it's a big price, 170. I'm not looking to lay 170 price here. But secondly, you add in that factor, the White Sox have won 7 of 8. Everything else is going to Cubbies' favor, though. They've been dominant at home lately, especially since the All-Star break. The offense has been ridiculous. This White Sox team, they've been struggling. They're coming off getting swept. So Cubbies are nothing. Just a big price to play there. Not really any interest in this total either. Cubs offense was red hot out of the break. Slowed down a little bit. White Sox have been ice cold. Pitching matchup would suggest a bit more to the over. So not one I'm getting involved with there. Then we have Orioles at the Padres. This is the one bet we have out so far for How to Beat the Bookie members. And if you guys have watched, not even just this season, since last MLB season, if you guys have watched anything John and I have covered, and we have talked hundreds of hours of baseball since then, Orioles are not getting the respect they deserve. Best road team in baseball. We gotta get it. That number was as high as plus 121 this morning. Got that at plus 120 out to our members. Baltimore still getting it done. They've won 3 straight, 11-4 their last 15. On the road this season, 38-22. San Diego's on a below 500 home team. They've dropped 6 of their last 7. They're scoring 1.67 runs per game in that span. They're not doing anything with the bats. Hitting 207 this week. Now it's Flaherty versus Waka, a couple of guys who used to be Cardinals. Flaherty, his first 2 starts with the O's, I should say, 4 runs in 11 innings, 16 Ks, 4 walks. Was better in his first start at Toronto on the road, and he's been better on the road this season. 4-3, 3.51 ERA. Michael Waka, what the Padres had gotten out of him prior to the injury, absolutely ridiculous. 6-1, 1.19 ERA in 10 starts prior to the shoulder issues and going on the IL. But that was back. His last start was July 1st. Now we're talking month and a half off. What kind of Waka are we going to get? And his rehab outing, 2 Ks, 3 walks, and 2 innings. That's a little concerning. Command wasn't fully there. And he's a guy who spent the last couple of seasons in the AL East. Spent a season with Tampa, spent a season with Boston. He went 2-0, 5.40 versus Baltimore last season. So you have a pitcher coming off the IL, facing a team who's seen him a bunch the last couple of seasons, pitching for an offense, hitting 200 this week, scoring under 2 runs per game, under 500 home team. They've lost 6 of 7. Baltimore coming in with a pitcher who's better on the road. They're the best road team in baseball. 11-4 the last 15. Hot versus cold, you name it. Baltimore plus money. Don't overthink it. Every single time we've come on the Instagram lives talking about these O's teams, pretty much feels like every day I get a question in there and it goes, is Baltimore trapped? Is Baltimore trapped? Is Baltimore trapped? They're the most profitable team in baseball this season. It's clearly not a trap at this point. Don't overthink it. Sharps keep betting San Diego. God knows why. This number went up. It got hit earlier this morning for Baltimore. O's is the play there. That's the one bet out for How to Beat the Bookie members. And like I said, a couple others we're looking at. Rays at Giants. Last game here on this card. Tampa Bay gets it done in a big way last night. They win that one 10-2 against San Francisco. Then that 1-3 the last 4, scoring just under 7 runs per game. Picking up a little bit on the road. 6-2 their last 8 road games. And this Giants team, talk about another dead offense here. This NL West just pathetic right now, this down the stretch of the season. Giants, Padres, Arizona, offense nowhere to be found. And they're all getting pretty good pitching, considering. But for the Giants, they've lost 7 of 9, scoring 2 runs per game, and they're just hitting 194 this week. So if you go look at the second half offensive standings, you're going to be looking at, San Diego, Arizona, and San Francisco on the bottom here. Pitching matchup looking like a bullpen day here for San Francisco. Going to be Junis making his second start as an opener. Last time out, or in a couple of August outings here, 1 run in 4 2/3 and 3 outings. And Little going for Tampa Bay. Now with the McClanahan injury, this is going to be a guy who's going to be in the rotation a bit more down the stretch of the season. It's been going well for him so far. 3 starts, 2 quality starts, 2-1, 2.65 ERA. Last time out, 3 runs in 6 innings versus St. Louis. Has been better on the road this season. 2.92 ERA in 11 outings. Just 4 of those starts. Weird game here. I mean, you're getting Tampa Bay at a pick'em. They get the pitching edge over a San Fran bullpen game. San Fran's good with the bullpen games. Just no offense going right now for the Giants. So I can't back the Giants here in this spot. They're trending downward. Tampa Bay starting to trend upward a little bit. They've been playing just pretty much 500 ball, going on little 3-game win streaks, 3-game lose streaks, it seems like, since their hot start. Either way, Rays are nothing here. Little's been pitching well. Giants offense is non-existent, and would be a lean here to the under as well. We'll see if that continues with the low-scoring games for the Giants. That is the Tuesday card. How are we on time here? A little 30 minutes. That is the Tuesday card, guys. Pretty good card all around, like I mentioned. We have one bet out so far. You guys know we don't always bet with the sharp action. Right now, we're seeing a lot of these games going against us, going against the reads we have. Not that we sent them out yet, but just the side that we want, the price keeps getting better and better. So with that, we're going to be a little bit patient with this today. Watch these lines ticks up, wait for lineups to come out, make sure we have our guys in before we send out any bets. But if you guys want those bets that we will be adding on to the card later today, you know where to go, howtobeatthebookie.com, or download the How to Beat the Bookie app. You guys get all our ratings, previews, John's bets for each and every game, and injury updates throughout the day. So make sure you guys go check out the website or download the app for that. Appreciate you guys tuning in, hanging out with me. My man John will be back with us tomorrow. So if you guys want to catch his read on the Wednesday card, what getaway day with day games, make sure you guys tune back in here. He's usually up by 1 o'clock Eastern. Day like today where it's just me, though, able to get it in a little bit sooner, a little bit quicker. Should have this out to you guys by latest 12:15. So appreciate you tuning in. Wish you guys the best of luck. Let's make some money.